Alright. Had to set my camera back up again. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, guten tag, wiedersehen, konnichiwa, kambanwa, whatever. G'day. Tirana's Cosplay here once again, and working away on another one of the commissioned props. In this particular case tonight I'm doing some more refining on this sword blade. I've pretty much done the side that you can see. I've beveled the edges up to the center peak, and I've put a fuller in, which is the very first time I've actually put a fuller in one of my swords. I've always been scared of actually coming down and hitting the core that I put in there. You see that one's kind of nice and defined, and it has relatively good shape to it. The other side, however, is far from finished and has just literally been raw cut with my craft knife. So I'm going to do quite a lot, actually, not just some, quite a lot of dremeling, and then I'm going to put the fuller in, and I'm going to refine the fuller and hopefully bring this side up to the same level as this front side. Hey, Finn, thank you very much, Lee. Oh, Finn, while you're there, I had a little bit of a faff around with bits and pieces, and Tok has his embroidery record of subs, and Bill has his oh, g'day Helter Skelter. Woohoo! Bill has his sub skull, and I thought, as a foam fabricator, what was I going to do to immortalize my subscribers? And at the moment it's yourself and Shogun, who are crudely scrawled upon my tabletop to remind me not to forget you. So I did a thing for my subs. Allow me to reach underneath my table and find my thing for my subs. Isn't that good? Doesn't that look just fucking perfect? No. What if we turned it over and did that? So I'm going to have a foam wall for my subscribers. So I've made me pretty little 3D subscribers label, and then I put your names on it, cut them in with the sharp blade and hit it with the heat gun. I thought, how much more foamy could my subscriber wall be? And the good thing is, should I ever fill it up, yeah right, should I ever fill up, I just plug another sheet of foam to the side or the bottom or the top and keep going. So here you go. As a foam fabricator, I thought a sheet of foam with your names cut into it and hit with the heat gun would be terribly appropriate. So, now I've been waffling for 8.5 minutes. Easy to hang up, absolutely. See, I got it covered, man. Right, down to work to redefine the other side of the blade. And essentially, I do a whole lot of shaping with the Dremel, and that's how I get it to come up to that nice, clean, crisp edge that I've got there. So we're going to do that on this side, right from where the crossguard will be. So down the shoulder and all the way down the blade. There are, this is the commission that I'm building for Yon. Okay. Now Yon's given me some direction on how he wants the sword constructed. Yon wants a dragon head here at the head of the crossguard on the top of the shoulder, facing down, with some flame engraved into the shoulder coming from the dragon's head. He also has an idea of what he wants the crossguard to look like. He wants some circular discs on the end of the crossguard with a particular easy pattern drawn into it, and he has a very definite shape for his pommel that he wants. So after discussing back and forth about the dimensions and the size and the shape of the blade, we've settled on a bastard sword, or a 1.5 hand sword, which is 125 centimeters from the top of the pommel to the tip of the blade. And at its widest part, the blade here is 60 mil. It's 2 foam sheets thick, and if I do it correctly, there we go. There is a hardwood dowel core running down through the blade. Now I purposely left that open because I'm going to take the handle back a bit to fit the pommel. Sorry, I didn't bring the handle back a bit to fit the pommel on, and I want that piece of dowel as an attachment point for the pommel. So I'm really happy with the definition that I've got on the blade, the transition from the shoulder to the blade's edges, and the fact that I've actually managed to put a fuller groove in the blade is beefing that up another level. I did work on the dragon heads. I'm not very happy with the definition of the mouth, and I think I might give it another go. But the idea is that there'll be this 3D dragon head mounted about there, if anything a little higher, and then there'll be flames cut into that face and hit with the heat gun to open them up. Obviously the handle gets rounded and shaped and the crossguard gets put in. Let's get down to business. The dragon is out of 2 mil. It's out of layers of 2 mil craft foam. Yeah. So it's 3 layers deep. There's the outside profile. There's the face with the cheeks, and then there's the nose and horns. And I just cut the pattern, the details in with the tip of the craft knife and hit it with the heat gun. I like the overall shape and the size, but like I said, the mouth just has lost some definition. It doesn't stand out. So if anything, what I'll do is that second plate that has the cheek on it, I'll also make that down to the mouth so that it stands out a bit higher, and then cut the teeth into it and see what that looks like. So I'm going to clear some stuff down that end of the workbench so that the tip of the blade can go all the way to the end of the bench. I have friends with 3D printers, but I myself don't have one. Okay. Could you cut the center of the mouth out to create a negative space? Yeah, I could do it that way too, I think. I'm not sure. The teeth would be very, very small and difficult to keep track of. What are you doing, noisy bum?
No, not that
Oh yes.
thing.
What stupid thing? Hey?
That thing you've got in your hand.
My Dremel, what about it?
It's fucking annoying.
It is not. It's not as annoying as the one that was being used last night. Yeah, I do have somebody who has a 3D print, and I also have access to those cosplay pellets. So I've got a couple of options open to me. Okay. As I sing the song of my people to you, I might drop the volume level down so it's not all Dremel noises. Right, now I have that black line, which is the ridge for the center of the blade, and I also have lines marked on the edge of the blade. However, I've already brought this finished edge up to the line, so they're my guides where I'm dremeling at. Okay, now there's going to be a lot of this with me looking down. So keep chatting and I'll look up every once in a while to make sure I don't miss out on anything in the conversation. Right. You don't want to make it difficult though. You want to get a 3D printer, but you feel that you've got a lot to learn a ton about them before you go ahead. Yeah, 3D printers can have a bit of a learning curve. I think it's the specifics of each individual printer need to be learnt, and the whole 3D modelling thing can also be something that can take a bit of effort to get your head around, but from what I'm seeing can be a valuable asset to your workshop. Okay, to see how well I've got the plane going, I'm using my small ruler and just kind of, I'm feeling by finger and by eyesight as I'm doing it. I'm also using the ruler to make sure that I haven't left any very distinct high spots. So there's a bit up there that needs to come down a little. And I'm not giving a very, I'm not sure how you can see that on the camera actually. The edge of the blade is still going to be about 2 mil thick. Yes, this is Yons' sword, Ben. Or it will be once I work out a way to get it to him. Australia Post won't send this. It's too long. Australia Post won't send anything over 105 centimetres. So we might have to look at using a freight company like, I don't know, whatever it is, DHL or Fed Express or something like that. I don't know. I don't know why that is, Helter. I don't seem to have any dropped frames at all at the moment, mate. Okay, back to the Dremel noises. I've never shipped anything by DHL, so I don't know. The Onlines, hello young man. Look away, I don't want to spoil the surprise. Moon Chimera, how are you? Welcome to the stream, Moon. Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't had to send anything via a courier company before, so this may be the very first thing. We're just discussing Yon, Australia Post will not send your sword to you for me. It's too big. And considering the axe that I sent, to New Mexico is still sitting in Los Angeles. It's arrived in Los Angeles on the 17th of last month. Is it a German shipping company, is it? I didn't know that. Yep, so says the mighty Google. Cool, learn something new every day. Sweet. Good thing the Dutch don't have any problems with the Germans. Lunchtime, no worries, buddy. You started on the... Was that sarcasm? Oh, no. Yeah. You started on the cyber leaderhead. Can't wait to see it, man. Oh, that reminds me, Yon, while you're there, man. Do you want this to look like it's fresh out of the foundry? Do you want it to look like you've had it for a couple of years, or do you want it to look like it's seen a full and active life? Not fresh from the forge, but not too battle scarred. I can do that. So not brand new, but not bloody horrible. You know, as a creative, this is pretty much our worst nightmare, don't you? Being a creative and having the client watching you while you're making their item, their commission. It is, like I said, pretty much the worst thing a creative can have happen. Or do you think you can make that bit there just a little bit wider, and maybe you could reshape, and could that be blue instead of orange, and could you do... No, no, no. You've given me the brief, back away. Oh, that's all lumpy there. I can feel it. We must take the lumpies out. The blade must not have lumpies. It must be nice, like this side. So. Got a full set of artist friends, so you know in which phase of the build to ask for which alterations. Sweet! That's better. This is starting to feel like my best sword yet, mate. show you the other one that I'm almost finished. I just have to wrap the handle, which is the father of your sword. Okay, so what I did was, this is the sword that is the father of yours, and yours is not going to look anywhere near this battle damaged or this dirty, okay? But what I did was, based on our discussion, I lopped this down to a single-handed handle, then lengthened the sword to the 125mm that we wanted, alright? So from the tip to halfway up the sword in my graphic software, lengthened it out to 125mm to give you the sword length that you want, and then I widened out the blade to give us our 60mm. So your sword, while this one is for a lady customer, okay, and needs to be more dainty and refined and stuff, yours being a bastard sword and a 1.5 needs to have a little more meat to it and be more of a man's wielded sword, if you like. So it's got that 60mm wide blade up the top here, and actually it feels good to hold. It's a good dimension. I like it. That's the side we're working on, obviously. That's the side that's already done. You can see the fuller in that low light actually works really fucking well. So yeah, her sword compared to yours is much thinner and shorter. You get the widest grin on your face right now? Sweet! So yes, I really do like what I'm doing with yours. And like I said, it's the first time I put a fuller in. I've always been really worried about hitting this spine, but I think we got it right. And I've got some ideas for what I want to do on your cross guard. Still incorporating all your design concepts, but just to bring it up an extra notch. Okay. If I don't keep grinding, I'm never going to get this done. So, let's get back down to it. Yeah, that fucking got it. Okay, so that's basically this side of the blade done. There's a couple of ripples there, but nothing too dramatic. Whoops. You still see texture here because now I've got to bring this side of the blade down to the right plane, because that's just cut with the box cutter, and I want to redefine the tip. I'm not, that's just the working tip at the moment, so that I don't end up damaging it because it's not a lot of material there. Okay, so now let's work up the other side of the blade. See what we can do. A lot of material that needs to be removed down there to get that right. So basically what I'm doing is I Dremel one edge down to my guideline, and I Dremel the ridge down to the guideline, and then I take the hump out of it by getting rid of all the excess material to give me a flat plane between the ridge and the edge of the blade. So that's the technique I'm using to shape my blade profile. I have absolutely no doubt that there are probably a million different ways that other people use to get their definition and blade shape right. But this is my technique, and I'm really happy with the resultant shape of my blades when I do it this way. I just realised I don't have Dark's credit for the background music on the screen. That should fix that. Doesn't feel that bad, man. Okay, let's get back to it, shall we? Oh yeah, the difference running your blade, your finger along where I haven't shaped and where I have. Yeah, it's easy to see where I finished work. Right there, that's the ridge, the difference between nice blade to rough blade. And it's amazing how good the human eye is at judging flat surfaces. That's I'm quite happy with that. Okay, enough talking, more doing. Yeah, sorry for those of you who've dropped in to enjoy the stream and my regular verbose conversation, but staring at the blade to get the angles right makes having a conversation just a little harder. But like I said, I do keep glancing up and checking chat, so if there's anything you want to ask or talk about, go right ahead. Good catcher! How the devil are ya? Welcome along. I take it with Yon calling you out before you make a comment, you must be on Yon's friends list. God-awful bump right there. I should say there was a god-awful bump right there, because it ain't there now. You've posted the link around in your Discord servers and Cord is the first to join. Well, thank you very much, Cord. I'm doing alright. My mum just slapping together a pig sticker for young Yon there. Yeah, it's a transition there that I'm not happy with. I think I can fix that without too much issue. But it's taken shape nicely, brother. You may want to do the disclaimer. Yeah, I'm going to try really hard to cut back on the language. I've noticed that when I went to my YouTube channel, because I uploaded another 4, 7, 9 videos today, I put and then when I went through and put the age filter on because of the language, I lost my monetization on them. Honestly, YouTube monetization's a fucking joke. It really is. Okay, so the blade is taking shape. I've done pretty much from the tip down to about here. So I still have to bring the blade definition, whoops, sorry, I get chunk in the way. The blade definition, you can see the transition from the smooth blade to the ridge, and now where there is no clear defined ridge. Well, yeah, I'm not very family friendly, dude. I suppose I should. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Warning, this live stream is narrated in conversational Australian English, and as such, it will contain language that may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. Hell, it might even upset a few weak bastards. But you get that. So yeah, as I said, I'm at the point now where I'm going to start giving the shoulder more definition. Then I've got to take this texture off here. And then I've got to cut the ridge away and bevel in your fuller down the other side of the blade so that we get that nice on this side. So back to the Dremel sounds. Okay. That's the blade defined, mate. Mindless Gonzo, how you doing? You're fine, good to hear. Fen has returned with food, while Gonzo has just eaten. Not for Yons. And considering that it's 20 to 1 in the morning, food's not that much of a high priority for me at the moment. Alright, so I've just got this side of the face to do now. And then that blood curdling moment where we cut the fuller away with a V cut right down the ridge. And then I put the thinner sanding disc on the Dremel and round out the V and turn it into a U. All of which are pretty nerve-wracking because I do not want to hit the core, which runs down the very centre of the blade and gives it its rigidity. Yeah, it's two 10mm mats. So yeah, two 10mm mats thick, mate. I'm liking that definition there on the shoulder. You can't see it because of the light, but once it's painted up, there's some pretty nice edging there with the transition from the blade to the shoulder. So it's pretty much what we discussed. It's 20mm thick at its thickest. Oh, Ted's on, is he? Okay. So now I've done that, and you guys can't see. So we've got a nice defined profile. And the blade itself is really nicely shaped. I've got to work on the tip of the blade, but I'm doing that in just a moment. Next step is to remove the fuller, which will also get rid of that step just there. But patterning the hands for Charlie the robot. So this is some 220, I think it is. It just helps get rid of some of the furry off of it. It also helps knock off some of the high spots. Nope, still in LA. And now the subject of an investigation report, which could take anything up to fucking 60 days, man. I literally checked the tracking before I logged into Twitch tonight, and it's been sitting in LA, according to the tracking, since the 17th. Now, technically, Australia Post are right when they guarantee delivery from Australia to America in 5 days. Because it left here, Mandurah, on the 12th, got to Perth on the 13th, and arrived in Los Angeles on the 17th. 5 days. It's been sitting in Los Angeles, according to the tracking, since the 17th. It can't move that 670 mile or 1,000 Ks in those days. This, however, is too big for my postal service to send to Yons. So this will be sent via, I don't know, DHL or somebody. I would expect we'll need to get involved in the transfer of this blade from Australia to Yons. It's the other end they can't guarantee, indeed. You have to wait 100 plus days, though, for your sword from Italy. Well, I mean, the bright side of it is it's not a commission. It's a gift. It's a prize. However, that shouldn't alter the ability for them to deliver it, or the expediency with which they do so. Fuck, that looks good, Yons. I'm really, like I said, don't worry about that ridge there. Once I cut that out to put that bevel in, the ridge will disappear. But yeah, I think we're getting a nicely defined sword blade there, mate. But it's sitting there so long because it's a quarantine period. Any invasive species, any sort of bug that may be inside will be long dead before its destination. Well, I hope so. They're quite welcome to fumigate the bloody thing. That won't hurt. Foam, PVC tube and a bit of paint. Oh, come on, you pain in the ass. I'd be more worried about this one. It's got a wooden core in it, so if anything, it's the one with natural product in it. Okay then. I'm not feeling the blade catch any wood. It's only cutting foam, thankfully. Because obviously down the centre spine and the inside we had to router out a groove to hold the core in. I don't know, mate. I can give him the tracking number, but I used the tracking number on USPS and got exactly the same information as I got using the tracking number on Australia Post. And now that Australia Post have launched an inquiry, whoa, okay. In theory, that should pop out of there. Is what's going to NC, Beardy? No, the axe is going to New Mexico, mate. Rama, New Mexico, population 370. I thought he was too. Apparently he's been posted to New Mexico as a teacher. He gave me a post office box in this little one-horse town. Okay, well, it's cut out. Now it needs to be softened with the round Dremel bit, like that one. KC Cosplay in a hizzy. The V groove will help the rounded Dremel bit from drifting, and it also means there's significantly less material to try and Dremel out. So obviously this beastie is way too wide in profile, so we're not going to use it. How have you been, young lady? Good, I hope. I'm just going to flip the sanding disc over because it's gummed up quite a bit. Or maybe I'm not going to do that. It doesn't appear that I will. Okay then. A little more Dremel noising while I turn this bevel, this fuller, into something that looks correct. Apparently not. I'll have a look in a minute, CK. Okay. Hot diggity fucking dog. What did I miss? My hands are shaking. Getting over a cold, bit alert, CK, did they approve my emote yet? Like I said, not that I've seen, no. I'll have to, shit, I think I made that bastard deeper on this side. I'll have to check and see what's going on with my emote. It's not like it's offensive or anything. It's literally the fucking T from the beginning of my logo. Shit, hand sanding a fuller. That can't be easy. I was doing alright until my resident man-at-arms and armory expert mentioned that it's probably something that's difficult to do, and then you threw me off, you bastard. No, you didn't. Also, I sent a question to Dutch Customs Office. Dutch Customs Office, what the fuck? Dutch Customs Office, to make sure I can get that foam sword. I'm like 99.9999% sure I can, but better be safe than sorry. Indeed. Maybe your remote is being held up in Los Angeles. Yeehaw! Oh no, I'll show you the Witch King sword. It's right here beside me. Just literally right there. No, I based Yons' sword on the Witch King profile. I shortened the handle, then lengthened the entire sword length from the end of the new handle to the tip of the blade to 125, and then widened out the blade to 60mm at its thickest. And ended up with this profile. Obviously going to remove this and put in a proper crossguard, or a more defined crossguard. So that's Yons' blade. It's okay, Doctor Who's got tickets to it. The end of the world. Whereas the Witcher's sword, same profile, but the blade is thinner and a little shorter. So I gave it more beef. And more length. So the Witcher sword's going to look more elegant, and being wielded by a lady, I think that's more appropriate. Yons' sword, in our discussions about what he wanted, had some very definite cue points. The length of the overall sword we discussed, the width of the blade we discussed, a dragon head going here at the top of the shoulder with flames being engraved into the shoulder. So I'm going to cut them in with the tip of the craft knife and hit it with the hot air, and that will bring the blade, the flame out, and I'll rework these dragon heads. I'm not particularly fussed with the mouth area, but I've got an idea for that. Millways. That's it. The restaurant at the end of the universe. So there you go, guys. That's Yons' sword. At least so far. I'm going to hit this side that I've just done with the hot gun. That'll tidy up some of these frilly bits on it and bring it back up to the same level as the front of the blade, or the other side of the blade. So I was going to go to Millways, but then I had to declare myself dead for tax purposes. Alrighty. Why not use the dragon head that you drew on the reference image? I can do that. Like I said, I'm not happy with the ones I got there. Okay, this is unlike any foam sword you've ever seen. Okay, well, let's see it. Yeah, right. Make one of those out of foam. How about you bite my curvy yellow butt? Still has a taper. KC asks, do you use a Dremel to taper the blade down? Yeah. Oh, you mean what I'm building is almost to scale? You like this, do you, Beardy? Well, you know, for a small exchange of coin, you too could have something similar. Yes and no, CK. My first stage is I'll cut out the profile, I'll mark the center line, and then I'll mark the center line of the blade, and I'll get my box cutter out and I'll cut above that line to remove most of the material, and then, yeah, I Dremel down. That's what the first half of this stream was, me dremeling that down to give it its definition and smooth edges, and I think I've done a relatively good job on that. And if Yon doesn't like it, he can take the sword and stick it right up his bum. Sideways. It's a Guardsman's Shield Lantern. Well, that's all I got for you at the moment, guys. Made for King Gerald's door guard. Okay, so I got to amend the tip of the blade a bit. It's got a wedge on it instead of a tip, so it needs more defining. And now that I know where my fuller stops, I'm going to bring the edge in a bit. Yons is still grinning like a loon. A distal taper. What's a distal taper mean, brother? You got to remember, you're the weapons expert talking to some nubs. Or at least one newbie. You off to bed, Helter? No worries, brother. Take care of yourself. It's like 20 past 1, so yeah, I don't blame you. Nasty! Uploads blade tapers. Okay, cool. Oh, so this is going to explain what a distal is. Right, so now your tip is more defined. So it's your silhouette, and there's your side profile. It looks like a spearhead only because of the fuller. Okay. And remember, it's foam, so you're not going to get a pointy point on here. Shop Wing Chun. I used to do Wing Chun Iron Palm, actually. Long time ago. A distal taper, the blade narrowing to the tip on the bird's eye view. Profile taper, the blade narrows from the spine to the edge. So it's got a profile taper because it goes from the spine to the edge, and a distal taper means that it's getting thinner this way as well as this way. Is that what? Okay, cool. All right. I'm just interpreting what I see there. I may or may not actually be correct. Yeah, I definitely think one of these fullers feels deeper than the other, and I can't fix that, my friend. Could you thin the point till it lies even with the fuller? Yes, I can do that. He says, confidently, nonchalantly. Not entirely sure that he can, but he will. I can do anything. Jumper, how are you, Brad? Welcome back, welcome back. You mongrel fucking bastard. Okay, that's the best you're going to get. I've just tipped the very, very edge of the dowel. Once I give it its rubber coating, that will cover back up again. But yeah. Okay. So that's the best I can give you, mate. Knew we were getting close. Okay, now I've put that in the kiln and I've left it up to 1500 degrees centigrade, and I'm going to now quench it in oil, and then I'm going to clamp it like this in my vise so the heat radiates up the blade without warp. Oh, hang on, so that's the wrong channel. That's somebody else's channel that I'm watching. Can you receive bladed weapons there in Australia? I never had one sent to me. I think so, yeah. I mean, they sell collectible swords and stuff at the conventions. There we go, Jumper's on the other side of the country, and Jumper says you sure can, so trust British Paints, sure can. So there you go, Yon. This is your bastard of a sword so far. See what I did there? Muhahaha. Not bad for a couple of lumps of foam, a bit of wood, and a couple of hours dremeling, is it? So, next couple of stages will be to have a look at the dragon head that Yons sent me and see if I can replicate it out here. Put the crossguard in, shape the handle, make the pommel, whack the pommel on, and then with the whole foam, the rubber sealant, the painting, and bringing it up to scratch, and finding a way to get it from here to where are you? Fucking Alaska, somewhere like that, Siberia, somewhere bloody cold with ice and snow and shit. Yeah, with the fjords, with the wiggly bits on the fjords. Yes. Do I use plastic dip? No. Costs a freaking mint. Oh, see, that's what I said. The land with the fjords and shit. Where is the stuff I use? I thought I had a can just sitting up there to show you. Wait, one. I have none. I thought there was some in the back room. Okay, in answer to your question, I'll use Rust-Oleum's spray-on rubber leak sealant. Okay. So there's the two side by side. What we're going to do with Yons is I'm going to use the same paint process as I used as this one. We're not going to age and weather it, and it's not going to have any battle damage in it. It is cheaper. It's 16 bucks a can at Bunnings. If you don't find it in the spray can section, you will find it in the plumbing section. That's not it. Right, this stuff here, mate. Rust-Oleum leak seal rubber, a flexible rubber coating, seals leaks and cracks instantly, watertight paintable finish. Great for gutters, roofs, flashing, ductwork, PVC, masonry, concrete, swords, axes, armor, and so much more. Plastic dip you can get here in Australia, but it's like $30 a can. You can get it from some of the automotive stores. But again, I found a solution that works for me. So yes, said I'm going to do Beardy's sword with the same paint treatment that I did on this one, except I'm going to stop before, yeah, Autobahn, there you go, before I do the shoe polish, aging and weathering on his sword. If anything, I might do one coat to give it a little bit of life, but we'll see how we go. And so much more, like foam sandwiches. Exactly, Mr. Sassafrash. Right. So, that's about all I got for you guys tonight. It's 1:30. I have a house inspection in 2 days, so I've got to start doing some cleaning up around here. Which means I probably need to get up in daytime hours to do that bit outside, like the weeding and gardening and shit. Plus, I'm going to take a look at Yons dragon head artwork and see if I can't pull that out of his image and use it. So, word is that Senpai is streaming. So you know what that means. I'm gonna throw a answer the door in the Nordic armour like it's nothing out of the usual. Well, I was standing outside talking to the next door neighbour, waving the Witch King's sword around to help the paint dry off a bit. Kidnap and then bury the inspectors. It's faster than cleaning. Yeah, and the dog hasn't been fed for a day or three, so that'll be fine. Just calling for a page refresh. Okay, my friends. Let me do this and this. Chatting with the neighbours and gesturing around with it. Okay, well, thanks a lot for joining us again tonight. As I got blue dust all over my nose, I've been sniffing Smurfs. Sniffing Smurfs. I'm Tyrannis Cosplay, and I've been working on the commission sword for Yon, whose name pops up there in chat quite frequently. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page, which is showing right there, or my Instagram, which is showing right there, or hell, my YouTube, where most of these videos end up being archived after a couple of days or so. I'm going to disappear for the evening. Please remember, we call this stuff cosplay, because it's meant to be fun. Good night all.